Welcome back to another Beyond Crazy video, guys. Guess what? It is fall time, and if you're a pie person, you love pumpkin pie, or at least I think you do. I'm not a huge fan, I'm not gonna lie, but I've never made one from scratch. And so today, Tristan and I are gonna be making pumpkin pie. All right, first step, make sure you preheat your oven to 400 degrees. That's already done, it's working on it. So now we're gonna break down the pumpkin so that we can do this. So we're gonna cut the top off. Now, if you were carving the pumpkin, you'd probably try to do a very little one here, but we're processing this pumpkin, so I want plenty of room to work with. Okay, so I have to tell you a quick story. So this reminds me of my childhood, and every Halloween when we were getting ready, we would get pumpkins, and my mom, rest in peace, Mom, she would make us pumpkin seeds. It was like her thing. Every year when we carved our pumpkins, we would take all the seeds, we'd make them up. So I'm super excited. We will be making pumpkin seeds in a Crazy Pieces video. And I'm gonna save these seeds to do that. So let's get dirty. All right, so we want all of the little stringy guys out of there. So we're gonna use a spoon to scrape the sidewalls. All right, we have it all cleared out. I'm gonna cut off the bottom part, and then we're gonna cut it into smaller pieces. We're gonna put it into a pot with plenty of water. All right, pieces about that size go in. You want to make sure that they are fully submerged with about an inch of water on top of it here.
For anyone watching at home, 8 tablespoons of butter is half a cup, and that's all you're gonna need. Sweet, so I'm gonna make a really rudimentary dough. It's gonna be a cup and a third of flour, unpacked. Don't worry too much about packing it. That's a third. So 1 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour. You can use gluten-free as well. There's a lot of things inside this recipe that you're gonna be able to do either way. Do about a half a teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna start mixing this on low, and this recipe actually calls in for cut-in butter, so don't room temp your butter. It's supposed to be cold. It's gonna give this a lot more volume. So this is gonna be a super rudimentary crust. It's just gonna be 1 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour, and then 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, or I'm sorry, of salt. You're gonna turn your mixer on to low and then let that combine. At this time, you're gonna be going ahead and cutting up all of your butter. It's going to be 1 full stick of butter cut into 1 tablespoon cubes, and you're gonna slowly incorporate that until it starts to look more like a crumble. So like I said before, you want it mostly not sticking to pan. I added a tiny bit too much water, so that's why it's doing this. It's a really easy fix. We're just gonna go ahead and should always, whenever you're working with dough, you should always be working with floured hands already. But I'm gonna flour this workstation as well as my hands. I'm gonna flour the outside of the dough real lightly, just to make it more able to be worked with. Cool. Just going coarse through. More. Awesome.
For measurement's sake, you want your dough to stick out about an inch over the edge.
As we're doing this, you'll see I'm like lifting these sides up and I'm patting them super gently into the corners to make sure that we can cover the entire pan. I know you guys are all looking at that little spot right there. It's gonna be fun. The next part of this is gonna be crimping the edges. So it's really easy actually. You can literally just, it just depends on what you'd like to do. I usually just pinch the edges here, but I think because we've got such a thin lining on it, I'm actually just gonna pack the edges and then we're gonna crimp after that.
All right, we are gonna boil these until they are tender, roughly 30 minutes or so.
All right, I'm gonna take this time just because we're working out the filling and everything right now. I'm gonna take the time. So pumpkin pie crust, this crust will definitely cook a lot faster than the rest of the filling will. So I'm gonna line it. I'm just gonna line the crust itself just around it so that when we fill everything, it's gonna be perfect. And that crust hopefully doesn't overcook by the time the filling's cooked. So that is actually completely my bad. I did not wait for the camera at all. So these have been running for just about 20-25 minutes now. I'm just gonna strain out all the water. I'm gonna cool them down with some cold water. And then I'm just gonna take a knife and I'm gonna run it along the skin, just taking off and removing the skin. We're not gonna use any of that. Everything that is flesh is going to be added back to the pot, and we're gonna use a potato smasher to bring that down to the pumpkin pie puree consistency that you guys are all used to. Also, before I start this pumpkin puree and everyone starts jumping on me, that doesn't look like puree, that doesn't look like puree. It is puree. Brown sugar is actually what's predominantly used in pumpkin pie. And as you guys know, it's brown. So it darkens the pumpkin puree. So don't attack me in the comments, wait until the end, it's gonna look normal. So before I had mentioned that we want this to be chilled, obviously, because if you're cracking open a can of pumpkin puree, it's not going to be scorching hot. So we're gonna take this, just separate it, throw it into the freezer. We're gonna work the rest of this, clean up a tiny bit, and we'll throw it all together.
We're gonna go ahead and start with the pumpkin filling. We are going to do half a teaspoon of ginger, half teaspoon of nutmeg, half teaspoon of cinnamon, half teaspoon of salt, 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. 2 eggs. 3/4 cup of brown sugar, packed or a cup. All right, and finally, 2 cups of pumpkin puree. And we mix. All right, now that we have thoroughly mixed it, we are ready to put it into our crust. I want to leave a little bit. Let's see how far we fill it. All right, we want to leave a little bit of crust, just like that. So we did end up having a little bit of extra, but that's not a problem. All right, now we put it in the oven and we bake for 40 minutes. What are your thoughts on pumpkin pie, Mom?
I love pumpkin pie. That's what I look forward to.
I'm going in for my first
What I look forward to.
Every year.
All right, first bite. Go in for a second bite just to make sure. I get now why Joanne says she waits every year for this time to come around so she can have pumpkin pie. This is delicious. You guys gotta try it out. I give it a 9 out of 10.
You've never had homemade pumpkin pie? What do you think of it?
I really like it. It seems to have a little more flavor than the ones that you buy in the store. It's really, really good.
What would you rate it?
10 out of 10.
Oh. Wait, I need some.
He wants pie. Let the man eat pie.
Oh. Would you like some pie with your whipped cream? What do you think?
Let's go. It's got all of them. Yeah.
You got a lot of whipped cream.
Grazie mille.
Max does not like pumpkin pie. You like it?
Really good, yeah.
He's surprised.
Because anything pumpkin is usually just kind of to me. That was very good though.
Welcome to our Gross to Good episode where Max likes pumpkin now.
He went in for a second bite.
That's good. I like that.
Wait, that's actually really good. I'm actually surprised. Off camera, I was just telling Max if he was going to be a baby about it, not even to eat a piece of it because there wasn't enough. And then he tried it and he actually likes it, so I'm happy about it.
That's pretty
Yeah, he's going for a third bite.
I did.
Did you take 2 pieces? What do you think of it? No, I'm not gonna take your pie.
It is really good. I'd probably give it a solid 7 or 8. Most pumpkin pies I've tried just don't taste good. Even stuff that tastes like pumpkin I've never really liked, and this was actually very good. It doesn't have like that overwhelming pumpkin flavor.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
So, yeah, very good.
It's way softer than normal pumpkin. I'd give it like a solid 7 or 8. I'm not a normal fan of pumpkin pie, but this is actually really good.
I prefer this over store-bought.
Getting good reviews, Tristan. They love it.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us on today's video. We hope that you try this pumpkin pie at home. I will say that if you have individuals that don't normally like pumpkin pie, they might like this because it had a lot better flavor, a lot better texture than the store-bought pie. So yeah, give it a try. Please drop a like, a follow, a subscribe, all that kind of stuff. It really helps us out and we appreciate it. We love you guys and we'll catch you on the next one.